right, guys. I'm here today with Yak Motley, one of my business partners here. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how we kind of got into this whole kayak fishing world.
Yeah.
And how we just decided to kind of brand ourselves and have fun with it. So here in a minute, I'll tell my story about how I got involved with kayak fishing, but I want to go ahead and let Jack start off with his.
Oh, I get to go first. Okay,
Yeah.
Hey, hold your horses.
Step up to the microphone.
Hey,
now.
it's gonna might be a long, wild ride here, but anyways, my story with kayak fishing was kind of I don't know, it's kind of an interesting one. I think I had ran across a couple of YouTube videos out there. It was like there wasn't many out there when I first kind of noticed it on YouTube, and I was walking through Academy one Sunday. And there was a little red kayak, one of those old Pelican ones with it had the little rod holders in the back.
The two-piece?
Yeah, it was the two-piece for like $250.
The kayak death traps.
Yeah, so I got it, and it was 10 feet long, and I brought it home, and my roommate saw it, and he's like, "You got a kayak?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm going tomorrow, and I'm gonna buy one." So he went the next day and bought it was the green Castaway 116. I think now they call them throwaway 116s. I don't know. And he got that one, and we started going to the lakes there on Post and fishing, and we had a good time. And Carl's a real competitive.
On Post, where at?
I was at Fort Hood.
Okay, now Jack is retired, medically retired Army, so
Yeah.
that'll all make sense now when he says on Post.
Yeah, so so we got them and we started fishing, and then Carl wanted to try out a fishing tournament, so we went and got in the Cats tournament trail down there. We didn't know shit about shit, and we basically didn't know anything about fishing, and we were enough to be dangerous, and we went down there, we bought all the stuff, and we fished it, we had fun. Then I bought a Hobie. I went and bought a Hobie Outback and started just traveling around doing it for about that whole year. And then fished Stillhouse Lake and Bass Drop and Lady Bird and all those big lakes in Texas. And then when I moved back here, just hit it hard, and the rest is history. It's all recorded on my channel.
Hit that salt water, and yep. Then he started Yak Motley on YouTube, and I guess the legend has been born, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had fished like all my life, but never from the kayak. It was totally different from a kayak, and so it allowed me to get out on the water where I couldn't have been before. It would have just been sitting on the bank wherever you could walk around, and once we got the kayak, we could go anywhere. So
nice. The first time I kayak fished was up at a MWR facility up in the mountains in Washington State, and they had these kayaks sitting there and everything. And my buddy wanted to go out in a canoe with his girlfriend and everything, and I didn't really care for her too much, and she was like really, really annoying. So I was like, hey, I'm going to go check out one of these kayaks and try that. I had one fishing pole. I caught a bunch of rainbow trout, had them hanging on a stringer. We're getting texts. And I felt like a little tug, like after about an hour of fishing, I had a couple trout on there and everything. And when I pulled my stringer up, they were all fish heads. An otter had got to me and eaten everything. Fast forward about, let's see, that was, I don't know, 5-6 years. And I get orders to Jacksonville. And so I'm sitting there on a bank fishing for flounder using like cut bait and everything, because I'd never hadn't really fished for flounder or anything or saltwater fish like that before, and was new to the area. And some dude comes paddling up with a kayak, and so I start talking to him about fishing and everything. And his name was Tim Nelson. He's still a good buddy of mine right now, and he's probably watching. So he had a Cobra fishing dive. We started talking, realized we were both in the Navy. He was going to be in the same building, but the next a couple hangars down. And he invited me out, and we got into a bunch of like whiting and croakers and specks, and I was like, "Yep, I think this is for me." So went and bought a Ocean Scrambler. It was like an 11-foot piece of garbage, and being a bigger guy, it really didn't fit me that well. But I paddled that for about a year, deployed, saved up while I was deployed, came back and bought a Hobie Outback, and it's been game on. So.
Yeah, and we met. I was paddling offshore one day, going through the break, and he was going this way, and we pretty much ran into each other and started talking, and now we're sitting here. It's kind of like, you have a hobby that is the same, and something, a history background that is almost the same, and then you just like easy to make friends.
Yeah. So,
you know, this sport, kayak fishing sport, is one of those I think that's different than a lot of sports and things because it's a niche and everybody, it's like, oh, you kayak fish too? Oh, that's so cool. Well, let's go fishing.
That and the fact we kayak fish, we're both retired military. We live like a block and a half away from each other.
Yeah.
And then, so we fished together for about 9 months, and then I was working with another group, working on my video production and everything, and we just got to talking and realized that we didn't want to be employed with anybody else, and came up with a concept for a business and found our office space, and there we go. We brought in Brant Peacher as our third partner, and we're off and running. So I think there's gonna be some good things come out of all this.
We've been having fun while we're doing it.
Yep.
We haven't killed each other yet.
Nope.
That's good.
When stuff gets too serious, we just take a morning off and go fishing.
Yep. And then, like, literally the water is 5 minutes away. So
yeah.
Today I brought my kayak. It's sitting on top of the truck, and when we leave here, I'm gonna go try to catch a bonita and eat him on camera because everybody keeps saying you can't do that.
It's amazing. We've done, between the three of us, we've done like 5 videos on eating bonita or false albacore.
Little toonie.
False albacore, because the Atlantic bonita is actually a mackerel and probably does taste like garbage. But what everybody calls bonitos around here are actually in the tuna family. And if you bleed them, like you kill them immediately, bleed them out, keep them on ice water, fillet them, get rid of the bloodline. Even sashimi the other day, they taste exactly like what we had at Horizons for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go to a sushi restaurant, it tastes just like the same thing. So I don't know what people are getting at with the bonita, but we got to keep making videos and keep proving.
Yep, I'm going to launch a full escapade on eating bonita.
Like a whole series. Like, okay, here's raw, here's smoked, here's ceviche, here's, fried in panko crumbs or whatever.
You gotta let the women get weird with it.
We're gonna do like a catfish. Let's cook it in the dishwasher like he did with Spanish mackerel.
Hey, you can cook fish in the dishwasher. It tastes pretty good.
Just let
One cycle.
One cycle. Don't do it twice. Just do it once.
One cycle. Hey, make sure it's waterproof, watered up.
So I'm gonna send a link to his page. I'm sure most of you are subscribers anyways, but everybody who watches this, if you want to comment down below, and if you got any questions for us you'd like us to answer. We need to bring back Tackle Talk, so if there's any kind of advice you want for offshore fishing, inshore, bait rigs, whatever, put some suggestions down and we will definitely hit you up and get back to you. So I'm Greg Ammon, Yak Motley. We'll see you later.